Okay, so yeah, so all of our meals today are going to be gut protocol friendly, and which is exciting because we have a whole new group starting on the gut protocol, and tomorrow starts our prep week. Hey, Kim. So we're going to start with the sweet potato hash, and I'm going to just share my screen here. I'll leave this up the whole time so that everybody can see this recipe on their screen too. And what I want to talk about first a little bit is variations of this recipe for gut protocol, and then how we're going to containerize it, because it's definitely different than what we would do with a normal portion fix recipe. So like for instance, there's 8 eggs on here. I'm not an egg eater because of a sensitivity. And if you suspect that during the gut protocol, then that might be something you want to take out. So we're just going to cancel that out, right? We're not going to have those things in. And then the corn is one of those things that we're not having on the gut protocol. So that would normally be in the yellow category. So we're going to cut those out. And then if we go down to the container counts, you're going to see there's a red, 2 yellows, and a teaspoon. Well, we're leaving 1 yellow in, but one of those yellows is the black beans, and that is going to convert to a red. So here's what I'm thinking we do. If you are making like the, I'm going to do all the hash together, but I'm also going to kind of consciously know how much I'm putting in, right? So if there's 1 cup of beans in this whole thing, then that's basically 1 red, 1 1/4 red. So you could do like 1.5 cups of beans, and then you've got, you know, and then for 2 servings, you've got 2 reds. Does that make sense? So these get a little bit messy, but in the end, these are all things on the gut protocol. And if we just, you could also just make it and measure it out in the end, right? Like I'm going to add my beans later. So I'm going to do my sweet potatoes and my sweet peppers together, my red peppers together on the sheet and season them up. And then I'll add my red beans when I'm ready to eat it. So that's another way to make sure you're getting your correct serving, because instead of a bean being a yellow, which is a 1/2 cup, it's going to be 3/4 of a cup for this plan. So I feel like I'm confusing things more right now. But in the end, it will all make sense. I promise. In the end, it will make sense as you get through this program and you're doing it. The good news is that you're just not using, you're only using up a yellow for your sweet potato. It's a yellow bee. So that's the piece that you're just going to want to make sure you have a 1/2 cup of the sweet potatoes when you're eating it, when you're putting those serving sizes together. Any questions about that? Because I know that was a little convoluted. So what we'll do now, get your oven going to 400. We'll get our sweet potatoes diced up, peeled, and we'll chop up the other things that are going to go on this sheet pan together and get started. And anytime you have questions, I can't see the chat really well while I'm in the share mode with the recipe up here. So just unmute yourself and feel free to yell out and we'll talk about it.
Sounds good.
And just a heads up, if I mute you, it's no offense. It's just because there might be a little extra noise so the recording's not crazy later. Oh, and I was thinking too, so because cassava, trying to think of what else. There's one that starts with a Y. Is it yucca? There's a couple starchy, regular Yukon potatoes, cassava. You could all sub those in too. Like if you're not a sweet potato fan, you could do anything really off that yellow bee area. That's a root or, you know, a starchy kind of root veggie. All right, let's see. How big do we make these? Sweet potatoes. It only cooks for 18 to 20 minutes. And it
Those
says
1-inch cubes.
1 inch seems like that's going to be a little big to get done in
I
18
know.
minutes. I'd go a little smaller if you don't, you know, if you're not opposed to smaller chunks because it'll cook a little faster then. So that it keeps up with the sweet, you know, the bell peppers. Maybe a 1/2 inch. Does anybody have their cooking playlist going here? Yeah, I was thinking this would be really good too. Like since I'm taking the eggs out, I'm probably going to eat it with some turkey bacon in the morning, kind of thing. Or if you're doing it with the, you know, the beans, then obviously that's your red for the morning. So you could just leave that as is and make sure you have a full serving red. All right, I'm gonna try this cutting thing I saw on, I don't know, probably TikTok or something. So they're using the pepper, right? And they're gonna cut down the seams of the pepper and then just pull it off the core.
Oh, I've done that before.
Does it work?
It does work, yeah.
Let's see. Then I guess you just open it up like that. Oh yeah, look at that. Okay, I'm sold. That might be my new way of cutting peppers. This hash is going to be so pretty with peppers in it and the black beans. I have a bunch of like small garlic cloves, so I'm actually gonna leave mine a little bigger. I just smashed them. And so I'll kind of do a rough chop so that way they don't get too done while everything else is cooking. It just depends on how you, sometimes garlic can get a little bitter if it gets too done. I know this says to finely mince, and either way is gonna work great. It's just kind of a preference thing. And then I'm also gonna spray my sheet pan before, because we're not adding a lot of oil to these potatoes and veggies. So I'm gonna spray this down real quick before I load it onto my sheet pan. Okay, what else? Okay, how's it looking? I think I've got all my spices in here. I did forget to get black beans, so I am adding those separate later.
I was just going to ask. So, what were you saying about the black beans? Are you going to cook them and?
Well, you normally would. I would just make sure you put like, so let's say this recipe is 4 servings, right? Let me scroll up here. Yeah. So you would want, right now it's only having you put a cup of black beans. So you'd either want a cup and a half so that you have a half red serving, or you'd want 3 cups so that you have, right? That's the math, right? So you'd have 4 red beans.
Okay.
Because we're leaving out the corn, because they're not a yellow on here, we're leaving out the corn, and that's a yellow too. So that kind of eliminates a lot of that yellow, and then your sweet potatoes are the other yellow, basically, is how that worked.
Gotcha.
There's quite a few sweet potatoes in here, but not a lot, the other things are kind of a bonus. So what I would do, like I'm gonna cook this up, and then I will add in a full serving of red, black beans with it. And like, so you could like reheat it that way, just throw it in a saute pan or in the oven or in the microwave.
So 1 can of black beans is 2 reds.
It usually is, yep.
Yeah.
It's really close. Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's kind of
like 5 beans over. Like I noticed when I actually measured it, it's just slightly over 2 reds.
Yeah.
Hey, get out of there.
All right.
so if you do 2 reds in it, then it's right. If you did it with full recipe, then it's a half a red when you're breaking it out into 4 servings. And so, it's like, there's a lot of talk about, how do you, on some of these fixate recipes and blog recipes, a lot of people do what the thing says, right? Put all the things in and then just split it into 4. They don't try to necessarily measure, like maybe if it was a cup serving later or whatever it says the serving size is. So that's probably the simplest way because, we just did 2 medium sweet potatoes. That's really arbitrary. And it's hard to know exactly, is your medium sweet potato the same as my medium sweet potato? So you could just break this into 4, which is going to be, this is my 2 sweet potatoes and a red pepper. So it's a lot. It's filling the pan. All right, so I'm going to throw this in and set it for 20 minutes. And then we can start getting the other ingredients for the next recipe. When you guys are wrapped up here with this, just yell out when you're done.
So with the onion and bell pepper that's in it, that's not enough to count as a green with anything, correct?
Yeah, let's look and see if they counted it. It's not very much. They did not count it. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Now, if you wanted to add more in to make it count, you certainly can do that. So I would say that red pepper alone was at least a cup. And then let's say you added 2 peppers, so that's 2 cups. So that would be half a green. Or if you combine the onion and the red pepper, and that makes 2 cups, then that would be a half a green.
Deanna, what's the container count
So it's
for this?
right now it's a red, a yellow, and a teaspoon. The
So
way
1
we're
red.
making it. Yeah, the way we're gut protocoling it. It's a red bee, a yellow bee, and a teaspoon.
Gotcha, thank you. For some reason, it didn't print out that way.
Yeah, they're always on the bottom. So it's like. Okay. And my tahini here. Okay, I should have taken my tahini out a while ago because it's it's in the refrigerator normally, and it's separated and now pretty hard. So I'm gonna work on this while you guys are finishing up. Did anybody have a hard time finding tahini?
I was lucky and found it at my store. I was like, they're not gonna have it. And I was like, I'm gonna have to skip it, but I found it.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
I always end up with these giant containers of it too.
I
but
know. I wish they would
fortunately-
have them a little bit smaller, but that's
Yeah.
okay.
Fortunately, it'll last a while in the refrigerator. So
Well, that's good.
yeah.
That's good. I didn't know you could refrigerate it.
Well, I do because it is a seed and it's oil, right? It's made of fat, so it will go rancid.
Yeah.
So I tend to either you could probably freeze, or I suppose you could even, if you really wanted to get ahead of the game, like pesto, where you put it in the ice cube trays and freeze
Yeah.
2 tablespoons at a time. You could totally do that.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Although I don't have time for that.
Right? You're like, that's a great idea that I'm not going to get done.
I'll make one of my kids do it as a chore.
There you go. It'll be like a science project. Okay, how's everybody doing? Are we ready to go to the Buddha bowl?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep, I'm good.
Okay. Okay, here's where we get to chocolate. So again, we're gonna have that sheet pan out because we're gonna roast up our zucchini and asparagus. If you did not make quinoa ahead of time, just throw it on the stove now. And what I would do with this one is we're gonna make all these components and I will likely keep them separate and assemble when I'm ready to eat, if that makes sense. Because then you can add some different things in, or like maybe you're missing a green, so you need more veggies that day. So throw in another cup of veggies. If you are prepping for, like you need to get your work stuff ready, so you're taking work lunches, then prep, get it all sectioned out in your meal prep containers so that you can just take and go. And let's talk containers on this one. Scroll down here. Okay, so one of the yellows, actually both yellows in this are actually red bees. Okay, because one is quinoa and the other one is chickpeas. So for the gut protocol, those are both red bees. So if you do this as is, you'll have 2 red bees. So if you want to take those to halves, like instead of putting a full container in your bowl, you put a half of the garbanzo beans, half of the quinoa, then you'll have 1 red bee for that day. So it really just depends on what plan you're on, how much wiggle room you have for your reds and how many reds you want in your meal. So that's kind of why I was like, you can kind of assemble this as you see fit for your plan. And then the dressing is going to be a half orange, and the 3.5 teaspoons, those are some of your add-ins. Okay, some of it's from the oil, but some of it is from the hemp hearts. So if you didn't want to do hemp hearts, then you could take away a teaspoon there. If you didn't want to do sesame seeds, you could take away a teaspoon there. Because I know some of your plans are 4 or 5, or I'm on, oh no, I get 5 teaspoons. So they're either 4 or 5 teaspoons in that first 3 brackets. So this could use up all your teaspoons. So that's where you can modify this bowl depending on what you're using. And there really isn't enough maple syrup in here to, it's going to be a half a teaspoon for 4 servings. So fortunately, we will not have to really worry about that for our added sugars. And this is preheated for 425, which is great because we're already at 400 going. So we'll just get our sheet pan ready with the things that are going in the oven, and then they can go in right after our potatoes are done. So, and this is, if you have room on your sheet pan and you want different veggies for another meal, this is a great time to just throw them on. So you can, cook up some extra things too. Or if there's something you don't like in it, like let's say you don't like asparagus, then feel free to add in something different with this Buddha bowl. This is one of those recipes where you can make it different every time. Throw in some bell peppers or throw in broccoli. Roasted broccoli is great. Roasted cauliflower. Oh, this one does it with parchment paper too. That's up to you. I usually like to fly by the seat of my pants and just, put some coconut spray down. So any questions on this one? It's pretty straightforward. You're just building a bowl. I will say during the gut protocol, I built a bowl every day And it was a little bit different every day. There was days I used lemon and olive oil to make like a quick thing with a Mediterranean bowl. So it had Kalamata olives and tomatoes and cucumber and mint and parsley. Herbs are going to be your best friend because you can just load those in and change flavors. And, you know, you just build these bowls and it's a great way to get in those veggies.
Especially that first week when everything has to be cooked. This is
Right.
The bowls are awesome for that.
They definitely are. And, you know, like you can meal prep, like I do usually, I don't know, 3 pounds of chicken and just throw it on the grill on Sunday. And then I've got grilled chicken for 4 or 5 days. Plus the kids will eat grilled chicken and quesadillas or, you know, other ways. And so then we've all got some kind of quick protein to go to if you need something fast.
Is this bowl meant to eat cold?
You know,
Or do you
I think
warm it?
it'd be best at room temperature. Like, let's say you take it to work in the morning or, you know, just set it out. I don't know that you'd want it hot, but that's kind of up to you on how you like your veggies left over. Most of my bowls end up being about room temperature. Like sometimes I will heat a component of it. Like I'll heat some brown rice first, and then I'll throw all the ingredients in the bowl. All right, so my tahini is loosening up. So you just kind of have to kind of keep working it if you've had it in the refrigerator to get it like a peanut butter consistency. Ooh, my asparagus look like tree trunks. Some beets would also be really good in this bowl.
That's what I'm putting on mine.
Oh, nice. Are you doing
Yeah,
yellow or red?
No, the red ones. That, and I'm doing broccoli as well.
I love
Ooh,
the the beets that are like candy cane, that they're not all the time. They're so pretty.
Yeah. So I'm doing my bowls because I'm traveling this week. So I'm gonna pack them, you know, in my suitcase. So I'm throwing a whole bunch of vegetables with it.
We should totally have you share that on Thursday, like how you deal with travel and, you know, being on gut protocol.
Yeah. I have these little, I'm sure you guys have all seen them. They're like backpack coolers. They're real small and kind of thin. I just throw them in there and pack it in my suitcase because it's not going to be in there for that long.
Right, right.
So they're fine.
Yes, but that's really awesome information, Sue, because I hear countless people. I know for me, with Jacob, that was one of the hardest things was traveling. It was like, oh heavens, what are we gonna do? Because there was always like, you can't just go to a restaurant and just eat.
Right.
It wasn't like that. Cause I mean, you guys have seen now, like even the people that work there, they're clueless. Like, you know, Starbucks, they wasn't it that their matcha comes preloaded with sugar in it, and they're just like, no, we don't add any sugar. There's no sugar added. It's like there's sugar added like in the original matcha, like, but they don't know.
Yeah.
And that's what we deal with is like people just they don't know what's in anything. So
So true.
it's very beneficial because a lot of people are like, well, I'm going on vacation, so yeah, peace out on that nutrition.
Right. Yeah, we could probably do a whole thing on that. Like Lily can do she's the, you know, the camper queen, and this is what she does. So
We should, let's have a travel edition because, you know, no matter what plan you're on, all these tips are going to be useful. And then like Mariana's talked about how she used to have food sent when she was on the campaign trail.
Yeah.
She'd have it sent to her hotel ahead of time. And
Yes,
so
that's
they
the
when
life.
she got there, which is brilliant. Because now we have all these food services, you know, that can do that kind of thing. And of course,
I think smart idea for Summit. Just saying.
oh yeah, absolutely.
Lunches.
Yeah, because Summit is going to be tricky.
Yeah, I'm still hoping that they bring in food trucks. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
They did in Indy, so hopefully they'll do that because their meals that they offered were really expensive, and I didn't think they were very good.
No, they're not.
Mm-mm.
We did that. I think Scott and I did it 2 years. We tried in Vegas 2 years. But we only did 1 day each year, and we were glad that we only did 1 day.
Yeah.
But that was also before either of us were gluten-free too.
Oh, and again, you know, shoot, I should have written this on the thing. It's 2 cups of cooked quinoa, but a serving of quinoa is in a red for gut protocol. So that's 3/4 of a cup. So as you can see, it can be a little bit tricky sometimes to make sure you're getting it all right with the conversions, but it is possible to convert things over to different, you know, like last night I made the lamb Rogan Josh for our friends. That's a fixate recipe. It's an Indian lamb dish. It was really good, by the way. FYI, I totally recommend it, especially if you like lamb. But like it started out with a yogurt base to marinate the meat in. And so I just used some coconut milk instead of yogurt to marinate, and it worked out just fine. And everything was still really good. And then, like, as I've mentioned a ton before, one of my favorite recipes through this whole thing has been the fixate breakfast sausage. And she, in the recipe, she puts in 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, which I wouldn't do that anyway. That just sounds way too sweet for me. But so I just do 2 teaspoons and it's been great. But those are recipes that, because the way they're written, they're not necessarily considered gut protocol friendly, or you're not going to see them in a search for that, but they're definitely convertible. And of course, the recipes we do have, I've made the pumpkin seed crusted pork loin, and that was delicious. Like, everybody in my house was like, oh my gosh, that was so good. And then what's the other? Oh, I made the chicken a la king the other night. That was really good. It's amazing how creamy the cauliflower, like it's like a gravy, but it's cauliflower. Cauliflower is amazing. You can just turn into anything you want.
I made that with just vegetables
Yeah.
and use the cauliflower as the cream, you know, and you're right, it was so good.
Oh, let's see if my sweet potatoes are done. Okay, I'm gonna keep them going just for a hot second. I feel like I'm behind you guys. How's everybody doing?
Still cutting.
Oh, okay. Okay, so it's not just me. I'm starting to make my dressing. Okay. Oh, half teaspoon should work. Okay, what else? All right, I'm gonna mute real quick while I blend this up. Okay, so my sweet potatoes are done. They smell amazing. And so I'm gonna throw in my veggies for the Buddha bowl, reset my timer. Oh yeah, I need to crank up my temperature too to 425. The dressing is a beautiful, like mustard color. Let's see how it tastes. So I gotta scrape some of that down. So I just take, like, I pretty much make all the dressings after the reset. There's just so many dressings on there, and you guys all have access to that in BOD. So all the recipes from the reset, and a lot of those recipes are gonna fit in so well with this plan. But what I would do, like, you make your own dressing like this. This is enough, obviously, for 4 servings, so it's not huge, but I'll just store mine in a little canning jar. And then, like, the miso ginger dressing is one of my favorites. So I'll stick it in the canning jar, and then when I'm ready to have a salad, you can just shake it, get it all back together again, because it'll, usually separate. And then you're ready to go. You can just take your tablespoon in there, get what you need. Oh yeah, this dressing's good. That is going to be really good with this vegetable mix. It's like lemony, it's kind of springy. So I just stuck mine in my jar like this, because I'll probably dress mine all together as I make them through the week. But if you're making them now, then just, you can portion them out with your quinoa and your chickpeas and your veggies when they come out. Make a cute little bowl. I got a bunch of lemon juice all over my computer. All right, so how's everybody doing on this one? We're good? Do we need it up a little bit longer?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay. Yell if you need it up, otherwise I'm gonna switch over. I'm gonna move this out of my way. Okay, so we'll move on to the chicken cacciatore. I've actually made this one before. And it was a big hit at my house. It's really flavorful, which is nice. It's not, it may, you know, you're gonna be eating a ton of veggies in here, but it's, I don't know, they all just taste really good together. It doesn't feel like you're, you know, trudging through veggies. So again, this is a 4 serving, and this recipe as it stands is just protein and veggies. So let me make sure I'm right here before I get too crazy. So 2 greens, a red, and a half a teaspoon. So that's the oil we're adding to cook it. So just protein and veggies. So this is a great meal if you just need some extra veggies, because it is 2 greens to 1 red. But you can also serve this on quinoa, would give you another red, brown rice would give you a yellow, and, you know, kind of make a more complete meal. You could serve it with a side of the gluten-free bread. So what I like to do too, so I can just use the same cutting board, is I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna cut all my veggies first for this. And then I'm gonna cut my chicken last. So I'll either put the veggies in bowls in the way that I'm gonna add them to the pot, or put them on a plate, or whatever, in whatever way you can kind of keep them separated out, because we will be cooking the chicken first. But I like to just get everything cut up and then go into the cooking process. We're actually moving pretty good. I thought Bev and I were talking this morning that we might not get through this very well because of all the cutting, but we're moving along.
Okay, so what is your opinion on peeling the eggplant? I never peel it. I never
So
peel it.
the skin can be bitter. That's why they have you peel it. So when you take off the skin, you basically take off any chance of eggplant flavor, which is all in the skin, because the middle is like the middle of a zucchini. It just is nothing.
Yeah.
And so some eggplants can be bitter on the outside, and like that really deters people. Plus the skin can also be a little harder, you know, a little chewier.
Yeah.
So that's why.
I take it back. I do peel them if I'm going to use them as like a bun for a turkey burger, because that's initially the first time we ever had eggplant. Was there's a recipe in Fixate. It's like something turkey burgers, and it might be eggplant turkey burgers. And and they're like amazing, but
yeah, there's a Mediterranean turkey burger in the I think on the blog.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good.
Yeah, it has like a Greek style dressing or whatever.
Yeah, and then and I think Alana might have something on To Be Mindset that uses eggplant as a bun. I feel like I've seen something there too.
Okay, so when celery gets old, it gets hollow.
Okay, good. The water's probably out of it.
I guess so. I'm like, okay, apparently that celery was not. It's fine. It still smells like celery. It's going to be cooked. That's all that really matters. The flavor's still going to be there. I'm not too concerned. But again, you're like, what's a medium eggplant? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
What's a medium onion, right? That kind of stuff. Just give me the cup.
Right.
How many cups you
Well, in my zucchini today, I was like, these look like pickles. They're like
Yeah,
about the size of a pickle. I'm like, that is small to me.
Yeah.
These are pathetic, pathetic zucchini right now. For this time of year, I would be thinking they're gonna be getting a little bit bigger by now.
Yeah, like I'm looking at this onion and I'm thinking, okay, that's way too much onion. We're just gonna
But I'm
bag
looking
get
at
some of
this
that.
eggplant. But in relative, in like, when I was looking at the others, this was basically like a medium size to me.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's medium or large or, because you can also buy the adorable little Indian eggplants that are like little
Oh.
tiny guys.
They don't have those at my
That's what
market.
I found at the produce stand. They've been in my fridge for like a week, so I just
perfect.
chopped them up. I was like, I gotta use them.
Deanna, your oven must be super hot because my sweet potatoes are still cooking.
Well, I went pretty small.
Did you? Okay.
I was for sure like a half inch.
Oh, okay. I wanted to add too that these bowls are great to top with sauerkraut.
Oh yeah, good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Which sauerkraut do you get? Which sauerkraut do you get? Like what brand?
I've gotten a couple different kinds. Let's see. One of them is a store brand, and then the latest one I got was from Costco. It's the Cleveland kraut,
Oh, look at
and
that.
it's the salt and caraway seed.
Ooh.
I
Wow.
really like the Cleveland garlic one.
Yeah. So
It's funny because my husband likes sauerkraut and he hadn't tried it yet. And I'm like, you really need to try this because I think you're really going to like it. And his
Mhm.
first bite was kind of like, oh, yeah, it's fine. And then he took another bite and he's like, oh, no, that's really good.
yeah. And most of the time I don't eat it on its own. I mix it with stuff and you can't even really taste it. It just adds flavor to what you're eating.
Yeah, I love it in that faux tuna salad because
Oh,
to me,
yeah.
it adds that brininess.
Mm-hmm.
I attempted to make my own because someone gifted me like 5 cabbages, so I've yet to try this.
Oh,
Ooh,
made
if
some.
you
So,
do, you're gonna have
did you
to
make-
share the recipe.
yeah.
I just
It looks
Googled it
good.
and did the best that I could, but hopefully it turns out.
I can't wait to hear about it.
Yeah, because I actually told Deanna, I'm like, I'm really surprised with them having us put fermented foods in this, that they're not
Mhm.
having like recipes for that.
Yeah,
I mean,
sauerkraut's really easy to make.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my
that's-
grandma used to make it all the time. A giant wood barrel. Because in Wisconsin, you got to have some sauerkraut in your brats.
yes. Well,
To go along with your cheese and beer.
Man, I did not do a great job of my grocery list. I thought I had whole tomatoes, but I just have crushed tomatoes, so I'll just work with that.
oh, I hope I do too. Now that you say that, shoot,
And then let's see, I need a bell pepper.
whole tomatoes. That's
Yeah, because I think you just squish them up by your hand and then stick them in.
no, it just says just
Add them.
Love
Oh,
it.
and they'll probably break down a little bit.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, let's see.
No matter what, I know I've got something.
Yeah.
At the very least, I have diced.
And
But then-
like, I always, like, so I just realized too, I didn't have my husband get 2 bell peppers, but we always have these little sweet peppers in our refrigerator, and they're great as scoops for hummus or sticking faux tuna salad or whatever you want in them. So those are pretty much a staple in there.
I picked a crappy eggplant. I am so upset with myself.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I mean, it'll work, but you know, it's got like the brown on it and stuff, and it's like,
Yeah.
eh. None of them were like stellar when I looked at them. I was like, but I figured they'd be fine. Oh, well, it is what it is.
Okay, well, I don't think I remembered to set my timer. So this is why you use a timer. I'm not sure when I put my veggies in the oven. Let's check on them. They're still okay. You do need to turn those though. So I'm gonna go through and flip them over.
Hey, guys, I have to go.
All right, Kim,
All right,
Been
Kim.
awesome. Thank you so much.
good to see you.
Take a picture.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Here,
yeah.
let me stop sharing for a second.
Oh,
Okay. Sarah, do you want to be in the picture?
Nope, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, all right, everybody cheese. Good to see you, Kim.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
bye.
Kim.
So the other thing too, if you like your veggies more caramelized, we tend to like them with a little brown on them. You can use, if you have a convection oven and you use your convection setting, it will get those outsides more brown. So that's an option. And it does go a little bit faster. I wouldn't say it's a lot with the amount of times we're cooking here. Okay, I think I've got everything chopped.
My gosh. You're like a
Oh, I
chopping.
need garlic. What, Bev?
Like you're a chopping mad woman. Like, how do you do that? How do you chop that fast? I'm still working. And I still have to do the chicken.
I do still have chicken left too. How many garlic do I need here? 1 clove of garlic, that's not enough for this. We're gonna make mine a little more garlicky.
Yeah, it can't be an Italian dish with 1 clove of garlic.
Right? What are they doing?
It's so funny. That's how every single recipe I used to make started, was onion and garlic. Everything.
Because you don't use garlic now, right?
Nope, and I usually don't even use onion. The last couple times I've used onion, Jacob has noticed that that it makes him, he has a little gut issues.
Yeah.
He's a little gassy.
Yep.
So, I mean, honestly, if you follow like the FODMAP diet,
Right.
that one, the first two things they remove is onion and garlic.
Yeah, because they are gas givers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yeah, and then my oldest, it just makes him the garlic makes him very fragrant himself.
Right. Yeah.
He doesn't smell like garlic, but he also doesn't smell like roses either. So,
Right.
so yeah, it just definitely changes things because you just don't have that flavor. And those are two very, very strong flavor.
Right. Yeah. And in so many recipes.
Uh-huh. Yes. That's how recipes start. Oil, onion, and garlic.
Exactly.
Okay, so I just did that bell pepper trick that you just
It's pretty nifty, isn't it?
I'm like, okay, well, hello.
Felt very fast to me.
Yeah. Had I paid attention and like done it from the beginning, I had almost started to like cut out the center and then I'm like, no. So I had like one rib that I ended up having to.
Well, and I don't feel like your fingers are in the way. You know what I mean? Like it seems like you have less chance of cutting yourself just going down those seams and then pulling it apart.
Yeah, well, and I felt like the seeds were all more contained in the center and
Like,
do you have music playing today, Deanna?
I do. It's my it's a playlist I have called Songs I Like. It's quite a
I
mix.
can't hear it. I can't hear it.
I turned it down a little bit because I didn't know if it was too loud.
Well, I tried to get my own to play and like yeah. Lily will make fun of me because it's another device that has an issue. I'm like, why won't this play through the speaker? Because the cord doesn't work. So I'm like, okay, I'll just hook it up to a Bluetooth. I keep playing it and it's just like, it's not playing. Why is it not playing? It says it's connected. Forget it. Never mind. I don't want to listen to anything. I'm fine.
You and your
I'm
sound
having
issues.
trouble.
It's so ridiculous. It's like, what is with me? With me and the electronic devices. I've never had so many issues. I feel like I'm like my grandmother or something.
It's funny because over the last 3 days, our Amazon Music keeps cutting out. And it's like super annoying because then we're like, well, do we have to go to Spotify? And I don't know, getting that set up's annoying. All right, so I'm getting my chicken cut up here.
Dude, I'm still cutting mushrooms.
And then I'm gonna, oh yeah, I just bought them sliced. I cheated on that one.
They did not look good. The ones that were cut, the pre-cut ones.
Yeah.
I mean, the regular barely even looked okay. I was like, okay. At least these are gonna get cooked like today.
Right, yeah.
If it was something that I was planning on eating later on in the week, it would have been like, nope, not happening.
Let's see, how big does this chicken need to be here?
1
1-inch cubes.
Yeah, they're really,
We're into the 1-inch cubes.
yeah, I think that's pretty large.
Yeah, I'm also more like probably 3/4 of an inch.
I like bite size so that I'm not having to like. So I'm not having to cut it while I'm eating.
Okay, so and as soon as I'm done with this cutting the chicken, I'm gonna get my veggies out for the Buddha bowl too. those are probably ready.
Okay, the vegetables are cut.
It's a veggie heavy plan today.
Good. It's good that I know some people don't like to cut up vegetables. That's annoying to them. But I find it to be relaxing.
Well, I was just gonna say, because you asked about my music, like that's a requirement for me when I'm cooking. I have to have a playlist going, and normally I'll have something fizzy. That could be a real cocktail, that could be a mocktail, but it is one of those things where it's just so nice to it's kind of like just enjoying your time doing it, right? Versus feeling stressed about it, and I just kind of sit,
Right.
cook, and do.
Oddly enough, I've been drinking my shake this entire time.
I need to make, usually I make mine before, but I had breakfast late this morning, so I haven't made mine yet. I'm gonna have mine, I think, while I'm at guitar class for the kids.
I think this is the longest my shake has lasted me. 12 years, 13 years. I don't know. Because it's usually like, okay, suck it down really fast.
Right? Yeah.
That's a great idea. I think I need to make one.
Okay.
All right, my sweet potatoes are finally done.
Yay!
I know. They look beautiful too.
So far, none of my pictures are all looking all that beautiful. I'm gonna have to do finished product pictures here. Okay, I'm gonna get my skillet. I'm using it's like a Le Creuset type. This is the Costco brand. Dutch oven, whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna get that nice and hot before I do anything, so that the chicken, at least on one side, gets some nice color. And I think I might take my chicken out in between. I might brown it and then take it out quick, because I also like to make sure my onion is not that boiled onion flavor from what I talked about earlier. So I usually caramelize it a little bit before I add the other things.
You could probably add it after. You could do your chicken first and then add the onions.
No, that's what I do, but I take the chicken out so there's not any liquid, because
Oh,
then
gotcha.
you can really get the onion kind of seared up.
Gotcha.
Sometimes I'll add the onion first, do it, and then just put it to the sides and add the chicken in.
Yeah.
We all have our little weirdness.
Yeah, no, it's whatever works.
Yeah, this actually, I mean, once you're done chopping everything, it's like 20 minutes to finish it. It's not very long.
Then it would probably be good if you had everything already prepped ahead, like all the veggies cut up ahead.
Yeah,
in containers to just throw together at a last minute type deal.
exactly.
That's why I love making the stir fries so much, because I can get all that stuff prepped ahead. Or at least some of it. So it's quick to throw together.
Hey, now I gotta decide what I'm gonna have for lunch. I think I might make a Buddha bowl. I don't know how I lose my can opener like every time. Oh, and something we talked about in the last gut protocol group, quite a, like usually on the Thursday call, is sometimes beans can have a little extra digestive issue. So I don't know, Sue, did you find rinsing yours help? I've been rinsing mine quite a bit ahead of time, but they also say soaking them can help with whatever that extra layer is. I think it's similar to quinoa's layer that just can give you a little bit of digestive issue.
Yeah, I haven't been eating too many of them, but I did rinse both my black beans and the chickpeas today. So hopefully that'll make a difference.
Yeah.
So you rinse the canned ones, or are you doing?
I rinse the canned ones. So I
Yeah,
rinse it, and you know how it gets kind of foamy, but then the foaminess kind of runs out.
Yes.
So I make sure that the foaminess is gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we do. I've always thought about making my beans.
Yeah, I have too, but I haven't done it.
No, I have like some. They last forever. I mean, they're beans. They're uncooked and they, their shelf life is a long time. Not cooked. But yeah, so I think I have black beans and something else. I don't know what else. Maybe pinto.
Don't you soak them overnight and then you cook them?
I think
Yes.
so. Yeah. And I think
You soak them overnight and then cook them.
I have a couple bags in our safe just in case the world ends and we're stuck here needing beans to eat.
I love it.
Uh-huh.
We have many cans of beans.
Yeah, we do too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, these vegetables are looking so good.
This is so I've been using this bowl because it's like giant. It's my kid's ramen bowl. This is my bowl maker.
Yeah.
All right, let's get my onions going here and. I just planted some parsley, so that'll be nice to have around. I've been using it in my Mediterranean bowls with some mint.
Don't plant mint.
No, God, no. I keep my mint in a pot.
Yeah.
Invasive species.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
Yeah, but it is nice to have around. You just got to keep it contained.
Okay. I need to go see about whole tomatoes.
I'm gonna go crushed.
Well, I know what I can look up here.
What'd you find?
Right here. I didn't even have to go to the basement. Holy. Yep. And it's a 14.5 ounce can at that. I was figuring, I'm like,
Yeah,
no way.
you
It's
lucked
gonna be
out.
like a 28. I'm gonna end up with half a can of tomatoes in my refrigerator until they go bad.
Well, yeah, I just stick mine in a baggie in the freezer.
That makes
That's
sense.
what I have, Beverly. 28 ounces.
Yeah.
There you go. That's what I figured I would end up with. But no, I shockingly have one right here. That's the aisle that I literally go down, and if I see something on sale, I pick them up. Because
Yeah.
I'll end up using them for something.
Exactly.
You guys, I'm gonna jump off. I gotta get some work done.
All right. It was good to see you,
Okay.
Sue.
Likewise, thank you,
Thank you.
everybody. Have a great day.
You
You
too.
too.
Wow, these mushrooms are enormous. They're like, I always get the portobello looking ones, the creminis. I don't know if they really taste any different, but
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and go. What
Okay.
time is the Thursday call?
It's at 5. Let's see, what state are you in again? It's North Carolina,
I'm
right?
Mountain Standard Time.
Oh, you're Colorado. So you're 6 o'clock.
Perfect. Awesome. I'll talk to you then. Thank you guys.
Yeah, sounds good. See you later, Sarah.
Bye.
I forgot. She's in Wyoming. Getting all my middle states mixed up. Okay, I think I'm gonna do half a red of garbanzo beans and a half a quinoa with my bowl. Okay, so let's see, I just added all of my veggies. I'm gonna let that kind of toss around a little bit. Then I'll add my tomatoes. Good morning.
How you doing, Daisy?
Okay, you will be pleased to know that I just needed to restart my Kindle.
Oh, that's good.
It is now working. I'm like, why is this not working?
He's taking some of our wood. Okay, I think I got everything all together in here. How's everybody doing? Let's make sure I didn't miss anything.
Are you gonna use it?
No, I'm almost done. All right, does anyone need the recipe anymore? No? Okay, then I'll just close, I'll stop recording and then everybody can kind of, yeah, wrap up what they're doing. Since we're at 90 minutes here.